Linnea has an incredible career that spans 45 years in scientific and medical publishing. Her broad experience includes the position of publisher at the Cancer Journal of Scientific American, as well as publishing director of Scientific American Medicine and Scientific American Surgery, where she oversaw new product development and scientific content. Throughout her career, she's offered strategic consulting, publication planning, technology development, and media and research capabilities to pharmaceutical and biotech companies. She helped companies successfully incorporate their clinical trial results into communications to the scientific community. Through her work, she developed invaluable and extraordinary relationships with physicians and allied health communities. And she saw firsthand the incredible medical innovation happening to change patients' lives. And she didn't realize it at the time, but her professional expertise would be applicable when it came to her personal health journey. We're grateful to have her here today to share her story. I will not share it, I will let her share it. But she's here as an oncology patient, as a clinical trial participant, and perhaps more importantly, someone who can use the word cured. So with that, please welcome Linnea to the stage.
Thank you. Hi. I really don't know where to start, except that I am ending the day here with a very positive note, very positive note. Without going into my career yet, 6 years ago, in August of 2017, I went for my annual physical, which I always had religiously because I believed in medicine. And my doctor was saying to me, everything is wonderful, your blood results are wonderful, everything's terrific. She said, you know, you used to be a smoker a long time ago, and they've got this new CAT scan. Why don't you do that? And I said, yeah, sure, because I didn't think anything of it. I had no symptoms whatsoever. So I did the CAT scan, went off on a business trip to California, came back. I think I had the CAT scan on a Friday. She called me in the office Monday and said, you have stage 3A lung cancer, with absolutely no clue, still no symptoms. Now, my reference to my career is that I feel like I was truly blessed because I had worked with so many of the top oncology specialists in the world and neurology, but that wasn't irrelevant now, that I immediately picked up the phone and said, okay, now I need your help. In 2 days, I was in Sloan Kettering, and I was enrolled in a clinical trial. It was one for azithromycin. They already knew it worked. It was being tested for whether it could be used alone rather than in conjunction with chemotherapy. And they also were testing to see how long you could take it before you started developing side effects, adverse events. They told me I could probably develop every itis that exists as a result. And I said, that's okay, I'll deal with that. So I had 2 doses of the drug, 3 weeks apart. And October 26th, they went in and removed my right upper lobe, and the tumor was 90% dead. So they actually called me cured at that point, not in remission, just cured. And I said, I've never heard anybody say cured before. But I was. Now, I did develop every itis you could possibly think of, in particular pancreatitis and ulcerative colitis. All of those things were very new to the physicians treating me because not many people had immunotherapy already. So even the gastroenterologist didn't really know how to deal with my kind of ulcerative colitis. But through a lot of research and hiring, they actually hired a gastroenterologist there who had experience with immunotherapy-induced ulcerative colitis. Anyway, I was treated with a lot of different things, and I knew where every single bathroom was in town, anywhere, and it's finally been under control. But the funny part was the oncologist said to me, we're really happy when you get these adverse events. And I said, why? And they said, because the people who have gotten these adverse events don't have cancer anymore. And the people who didn't get the adverse events still have cancer. And basically, since it killed my cancer, 90% dead in a very short period of time, the immunotherapy was looking for something else to attack. So it attacked my intestines, it attacked my eyes. It did trash my thyroid, but that's, one little pill per day. No big deal. That'll never come back, but everything else is fine. So it's a very positive story to end your day. So I haven't truly been an advocate in the true sense of the word, actively doing any kind of organizational work. I do have every friend and family member that has anybody who they know who has cancer call me. And I have, with my experience in publishing, I try to direct them to the right places to look for information, as well as providing it myself. They right away go to the internet, and they just get so much misinformation, and they get so much information that they get frightened by, rather than understanding it. And I can assure you, when they look at any clinical trial, they have no idea what that means. They think they're either going to get the drug or not, and they're afraid they're going to not have the drug that's going to fix them. They need to understand clinical trials better. From my publishing perspective, I was really pleased when I started seeing pharmaceutical and biotech companies publishing plain language summaries with the papers. The problem is the plain language summaries are still in the medical journals. And unless you've supported open access, for anybody to find it, if they do a search on PubMed, if they find it in a journal that doesn't support open access, then they can't read it anyway. So only the physicians are getting the plain language summaries. The patients need that. The patients really need the serious plain language summaries of what the physicians are reading. Physicians go crazy when they walk in and say, I saw this on the internet, I want to know about it. Pharma started that by saying, ask your doctor, ask your doctor. In my very early days, a funny story, nothing to do with this, but it shows you how it works. Very early publishing days, we were running a symposium for minoxidil for heart failure. Okay? And of course, one of the adverse events for minoxidil, it was drug of last choice for heart failure because it grew hair. And they complained that it grew hair. And of course, the pharma company said, well, wait a minute now, let's see. And they did a very smart thing in marketing the drug when they finally got it approved. They gave certificates to hairdressers to say, I think you're going bald. Here's a certificate to go and see your doctor, a credit for this amount of money to get. And it was reaching out to the patient, because the doctor's not going to say to you, I think you're getting bald. It was brilliant on their part. And the whole purpose of that one symposium that we ran for them was to bring out the adverse event so it would get published that it grew hair. So it was an outreach to the patient that was really valid, and they were one of the first ones to support open access in publications as well. That, to me, is crucial. And I had a very difficult time convincing my pharma and biotech clients that this was absolutely mandatory. It took a long time for the journals to catch on, too, that, of course, they can make money that way, but they can reach such a broad audience with that. And it educates, if the patient can go into PubMed and find information about their disease that's in a legitimate oncology journal in plain language, it's crucial. It's really crucial. And outreach programs to patients, I think, are crucial as well. Directly to patients, not ask your doctor about this drug. Educate them about the disease and clinical trials. Because, you get a 40-page packet about the clinical trial. I don't know anybody who's read it other than me, because I did that for a business. They just don't read it. They don't understand it. They're terrified. They're frightened. They need education on the difference in clinical trials. What does it mean? What could it mean for you? I'm a lucky one. I'm very, very lucky. And one of the, I was asked to do this. It's the first time I've ever publicly spoken about this. But I do think it's crucial. And as I was sitting here listening to the other advocates, I was thinking, God, I haven't done anything other than friends and family. You know, I haven't joined any groups. Of course, there's so many support groups already for lung cancer, Cancer Research Institute for the immunotherapy, crucial. My early days of publishing that cancer journal from Scientific American, it was with, I don't know if you've heard of DeVita, Hellman, and Rosenberg, but I call them the cancer gods. They are the editors, were the editors of Principles of Practice of Oncology. And DeVita and Hellman was radiology, DeVita was surgery. Rosenberg was one of the first people down at NIH to start talking about using the immune system to fight cancer. And he took a lot of grief because people said, oh, can't do that. Others have done the same thing, but I remember him struggling with people mocking him, like they mocked the physician, where was it, Australia, who said that ulcers were caused by a bacteria. It was that kind of an attitude towards Steve Rosenberg when he was doing this too. And I think if patients understood more about that, it would even be easier for them to talk to their physicians and not be terrified. And physicians don't have time to sit there and explain all of this. You need other ways to have the patients educated and sort of comforted. All I do now is when, believe me, I get 1 million phone calls from friends and family, because everybody knows somebody who's had cancer, and everybody knows I'm cured. And they want to know how to be cured. I don't have the answers to that, but I can direct them to the right places. That's really all I can say, I think. Thank you.